You can be the smartest person in the room and still be ignored if you can't express your value. Communication is the bridge between who you are and what the world sees. You'll never get the job, the relationship, or the respect you want if your words confuse more than they connect. Great communicators build great lives because influence begins with clarity. No one is born a great speaker. Most are just afraid to say something wrong. The ones who improve are the ones who speak anyway, fail anyway, and learn anyway. What if better communication could change your life? What if knowing how to express yourself clearly helped you build stronger relationships, land your dream job, or finally speak up without fear? What if the only thing standing between you and your next big opportunity is the way you talk, listen, and connect with people? Most of us speak every day, but few of us stop to ask, are we really being understood? Or are we just talking and hoping someone gets it? Communication is more than words. It's confidence, clarity, and connection. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real, honest, and intentional. In this video, we're breaking down how to improve your communication skills in a simple, practical way you can start using today. No fluff, just results. If you're ready to speak with confidence, connect more deeply, and be truly heard, then let's dive in. Chapter 1. Practice active listening in every conversation daily. Most people walk through life feeling unheard, misunderstood, and disconnected from others. They talk, but no one really listens. They speak, but the other person is just waiting for their turn to reply. If you've ever spoken your heart out to someone and realized they didn't catch a word you said, you know exactly how frustrating that feels. You feel small, you feel invisible, and then you stop trying. But here's the thing, if you want real relationships, real impact, and real growth, you have to start by doing something most people never do. Listen with intention. I mean really listen, not just to reply, not just to check a box, but to understand. That's the beginning of powerful communication. That's where transformation starts, and that's where we begin. Now, active listening isn't a trick or a fancy strategy. It's a daily habit. It's a way of showing the person in front of you that they matter, that their words aren't floating in the air, they're landing on someone who values them. Most people think communication is about talking better. But the truth is, the strongest communicators are the best listeners. Because when you listen with focus, you can speak with precision. When you fully hear what others are saying, you stop guessing, you stop assuming, and you start responding in a way that connects. That's how trust is built. That's how influence begins. Listening starts with presence. And presence means putting everything else aside. No phone in your hand. No distractions pulling at your focus. Just two people in a moment, one speaking, one truly listening. That's rare these days, and that's why it's powerful. Most people have forgotten how to be present. They're in conversations, but mentally, they're somewhere else. You can't connect that way. If you're always halfway in and halfway out, you'll never build strong relationships. You'll never understand what really matters to people. You'll only hear surface words, and you'll miss the deeper message underneath. Let me tell you what active listening looks like. It means you give your full attention. It means you listen not just to the words, but to the tone, the feeling, the energy behind them. People will tell you a lot more than what they say directly if you're paying attention. Listen to what they're emphasizing. Notice when their voice changes, when their body shifts, when their pace slows down. Those are the signals that matter. That's where the truth lives. You won't find that if you're already planning your response while they're still talking. We've got to unlearn the habit of interruption. It's a sign that we're prioritizing our voice over theirs. Interrupting says, what I have to say is more important than what you're saying. And even if that's not what you mean, that's how it feels. Over time, that damages your relationships. People start pulling away. They stop opening up. They stop trusting you with their thoughts because they've learned you're not really there for them. Active listening rebuilds that trust. It tells the other person, I'm here, I'm listening, I care. Now this isn't easy, especially if you've gone years just waiting for your turn to talk. It takes effort to slow down, to shut down the voice in your head that wants to jump in. But it's worth it, because every time you do it, every time you give someone your full attention, you're not just improving your communication. You're building something solid, something lasting. That's where your influence grows. Not in how loud you speak, but in how deeply you hear. Practice this every single day. Don't wait for important meetings or special occasions. Do it in your daily conversations, with your family, your co-workers, your friends. When someone talks to you, stop what you're doing. Face them. Look at them. Show them they matter. And listen without rushing to judge, without rushing to fix, without rushing to respond. Just hear them. You'd be surprised how powerful that alone can be. And here's something else. Reflect what you hear, not to repeat like a parrot, but to show understanding. Say things like, "So what you're saying is," or "It sounds like you're feeling." This lets the other person know that you got the message, that you're not just nodding, but actually taking it in. This builds connection. It makes the conversation real, and it helps you respond in a way that actually fits what's being said, not what you thought was being said. You see, most misunderstandings come from poor listening. We assume, we guess, we jump to conclusions, and then we respond to something that wasn't even said. That's how confusion happens. That's how trust breaks. But when you practice active listening, you clear up all the fog. You stay with the facts. You understand what's being said, and more importantly, why it's being said. That's powerful. It doesn't matter how smart you are or how many words you know. If you don't listen well, your communication will always fall short. Because people don't just want information. They want connection. They want to feel heard. And when you give them that, you stand out. In your career, in your relationships, in your life. That's what people remember. That's what draws others to you. Not how loud you speak, but how deeply you listen. This takes daily commitment. It's not something you turn on once and forget. It's a mindset, a posture, a discipline, and the more you practice, the sharper you get. You'll start noticing things you missed before. You'll catch the small details, the subtle emotions. You'll become more patient, more empathetic, more present. And that changes how people experience you. They'll start opening up more. They'll start trusting you more. They'll start coming to you, not because you have all the answers, but because you're one of the few who truly listens. And as you grow in this, your confidence will rise, because you'll stop fearing conversations. You'll stop worrying about what to say next. You'll start showing up with calm, with clarity, with strength. Because when you're listening well, your responses are sharper. Your words carry more weight. You don't need to say a lot. You just need to say what matters. And that only comes when you first listen. Chapter 2. Maintain eye contact to build instant connection. Many people experience a silent barrier in conversations without realizing why. They find themselves talking but feeling disconnected, as if the other person is somewhere else entirely. This happens because communication is not just about the words we speak. It is about connection, and connection starts with something very simple yet incredibly powerful. Eye contact. When you look into someone's eyes, you are saying something far deeper than any words could express. You are showing attention, respect, and openness. Yet this simple act is often overlooked or avoided because it can feel uncomfortable or intimidating. The truth is, most people do not realize how much power they give away when they fail to look others in the eye. Eye contact is the doorway to trust. It is the spark that ignites understanding and the glue that holds conversations together. The moment you lock eyes with someone, a connection happens instantly. It is natural. It is human. Eyes reveal emotions, sincerity, and intentions. They show whether you are fully present or distracted. When you avoid eye contact, even subconsciously, you create a distance. The other person senses this distance. They feel your hesitation, your nervousness, or your lack of interest. This creates a barrier that no words can easily break down. When you maintain eye contact, you build a bridge. You communicate courage and confidence without saying a word. You invite honesty and openness. You become someone worth listening to. Many people struggle with eye contact because of fear. Fear of judgment. Fear of being vulnerable. Fear of being caught off guard. But this fear fades away when you realize eye contact is not about staring or intimidating the other person. It is about balance. It is about sharing a moment of genuine presence. When your eyes meet another's, you are telling them they matter. You are acknowledging their worth. This simple act makes conversations feel richer, fuller, and more meaningful. Eye contact allows you to read the room. It gives you clues about how the other person is feeling. Their eyes can reveal hesitation, excitement, confusion, or agreement. If you pay close attention, you can adjust your message to meet their needs. This creates a dynamic interaction where both people feel heard and understood. Eye contact keeps you connected to the real emotion behind the words. It prevents conversations from becoming empty exchanges. This is what separates ordinary talks from powerful conversations. Building this skill requires practice and awareness. Start small by making eye contact with people you encounter daily, like cashiers or colleagues. Notice how it changes the interaction. Most times you will find the conversation becomes warmer and more engaging. It shows you respect the other person. It also boosts your own confidence as you grow comfortable with this essential skill. Over time, you will naturally maintain eye contact during longer and deeper conversations, strengthening your connection and influence. Eye contact also strengthens your message. When you speak while looking into someone's eyes, your words carry more weight. People pay more attention because they feel your sincerity. Your voice becomes clearer and your expressions more genuine. This increases your credibility and persuasiveness. People trust you because they can see your honesty reflected back in their eyes. This is a powerful form of communication that cannot be faked. The eyes reveal your true feelings, making your message authentic and compelling. In moments of disagreement or tension, eye contact plays a vital role. It shows you are engaged and willing to understand. It helps calm heated exchanges by reminding both parties that there is a human being behind the words. When you avoid eye contact during conflict, it creates suspicion and defensiveness. It feels like avoidance or disrespect. But when you maintain steady eye contact, you demonstrate courage and openness to resolve issues respectfully. This helps build stronger relationships even when opinions differ. There are cultural differences to consider with eye contact, but the underlying principle remains universal: attention and respect. In every culture, when you genuinely look someone in the eye, you communicate honesty. You open the door to deeper interaction. Understanding this can make your communication more effective in diverse settings. It teaches you to be mindful of how you use your gaze to connect rather than alienate. Some people worry that maintaining eye contact will make them look aggressive or uncomfortable, but the key is to be natural and relaxed. Eye contact should flow naturally with the rhythm of the conversation. Look long enough to show interest, then break away briefly to avoid staring. This creates a comfortable balance that puts everyone at ease. You want your eyes to invite connection, not cause discomfort. Practicing this balance builds your emotional intelligence and improves your ability to read and respond to others. Improving eye contact is also about understanding your own feelings. If you find yourself looking away quickly, ask why. Is it nervousness? Distraction? Disinterest? Becoming aware of your reasons helps you overcome barriers. You gain control over how you present yourself to others. This self-awareness builds confidence, making your communication more effective. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Eye contact becomes an effortless part of your presence, a silent yet powerful tool in every conversation. The benefits of maintaining eye contact reach beyond personal conversations. In professional settings, it marks you as confident and trustworthy. Leaders who maintain eye contact command attention and respect. It signals that they are fully engaged and ready to listen as well as lead. This inspires others to follow and trust their direction. Whether you are giving a presentation, negotiating or coaching, eye contact anchors your message and connects you to your audience. Even in brief interactions like meeting someone new or introducing yourself, eye contact creates a positive impression. People remember those who look them in the eye. It shows you are sincere and interested in them. This opens doors to new opportunities and relationships. You become memorable not because of flashy words, but because of the genuine connection you create with your gaze. The practice of maintaining eye contact is simple yet profound. It requires intention and courage. It requires stepping into the discomfort of being truly seen. But that is where growth happens. That is where you rise above surface-level conversations and connect on a human level. When you maintain eye contact, you communicate with your whole self, not just your voice. You invite others to do the same. This is the foundation for all meaningful communication. Making eye contact is not about dominating a conversation. It is about creating shared space. It is about letting the other person know you are there with them, fully and sincerely. This presence builds trust quickly and deeply. It opens the door for honest exchange. It makes people feel valued. That is the heart of communication. That is how you improve every conversation you have. Start paying attention to your eyes in conversations. Notice when you look away too soon or avoid the gaze altogether. Practice holding eye contact just a little longer each time. Watch how it changes the energy. Feel the difference in connection. Over time, this simple practice transforms the way people experience you. Your words become more powerful because they are backed by genuine presence. Your relationships grow because they are built on trust. Your confidence rises because you learn to be seen without fear. Chapter 3. Think before you speak to stay clear. Most people find themselves in conversations where their words come out rushed, unclear, or even hurtful without meaning to be. That moment when you say something and immediately regret it happens because speaking without thinking robs your message of clarity and impact. Words have power. They shape perceptions, build or break trust, and open or close doors. But too often, people speak first and think later, creating confusion and misunderstanding. The truth is that clear communication starts with pause. It begins by choosing your words carefully before they leave your mouth. Thinking before you speak is not a sign of weakness or hesitation. It is a sign of strength, respect, and wisdom. Every time you open your mouth, you have a choice. You can fill the silence with noise or you can fill it with meaning. Speaking clearly means your thoughts are organized in your mind before they reach your lips. When you think first, you reduce mistakes, misinterpretations, and unnecessary conflict. You avoid saying things that can be taken the wrong way or that cause harm. It also allows you to express yourself with confidence because your message is grounded in intention rather than impulse. This is where true influence begins, when people trust that what you say is thoughtful and reliable. The reality is that the world is full of rushed conversations and distracted speakers. People interrupt each other, jump to conclusions, and speak to be heard instead of to be understood. This creates noise and confusion everywhere. Many feel frustrated because they are not really connecting. Their message is lost in the chaos of hurried words. The solution lies in slowing down. Taking a moment to gather your thoughts before responding does not mean you are slow or unsure. It means you are deliberate. It means you respect yourself and the person you are talking to enough to communicate clearly. Thinking before speaking also requires self-awareness. You must be conscious of your emotions and your mental state. When emotions run high, anger, fear, excitement, it becomes even more important to pause. Speaking while emotionally charged often leads to words that are sharp, confusing, or even damaging. Taking a breath, counting to 3, or simply holding silence for a moment gives you time to regain control. This helps you choose words that reflect what you truly want to say rather than what your emotions want to shout. Clarity in communication often starts with clarity within yourself. This practice is a skill you build intentionally. It begins by catching yourself when you want to jump in and speak immediately. Ask yourself what you want to convey. What is your goal in this conversation? What impact do you want your words to have? Once you answer these questions, your words become more focused. You avoid unnecessary tangents or confusing details. Your message becomes easier to follow. People respond better when your communication is clear and concise because they can understand you without effort. Another aspect of thinking before speaking is understanding your audience. Clear communication depends on knowing who you are talking to and what they need to hear. Tailor your message to fit their perspective. This means choosing words and examples they relate to. It means avoiding jargon or complex ideas that cloud your meaning. When you consider your listener first, your message becomes clearer and more effective. This is not about changing your truth, but about delivering it in a way that connects. Many miss this step because they fear silence or pauses. They think, if they hesitate, they will lose attention or appear weak. But the opposite is true. Pausing before you speak shows confidence. It shows that you are in control of your words and your message. It creates space for others to absorb what you say. Silence is a powerful tool that enhances clarity. It allows your words to land with more impact instead of getting lost in a flood of speech. Learning to be comfortable with silence helps you become a clearer communicator. Thinking before speaking also helps in difficult conversations. When the stakes are high, the chance of miscommunication grows. The temptation to speak quickly or react emotionally is strong, but this is precisely when you must be most careful. Taking time to choose your words carefully can prevent misunderstandings that escalate conflicts. It helps you express your point without attacking or blaming. This creates room for resolution and respect. The clearer your communication in tough moments, the stronger your relationships become. This discipline requires practice and patience. Start by slowing your speech down. Consciously put a brief pause before answering questions or sharing your thoughts. Notice how this affects the flow of conversation. People will appreciate your clarity and thoughtfulness. You will also feel more grounded and confident. Over time, thinking before you speak becomes natural, and your communication transforms. You gain a reputation for being clear, calm, and wise, someone who others want to listen to. The habit of thinking before speaking extends beyond conversations. It influences how you write emails, give presentations, and handle conflicts. When you form your ideas clearly first, your words have more impact in every form of communication. This leads to greater success professionally and personally. Clear communication is a cornerstone of leadership and influence. It opens doors and builds bridges that hurried or careless speech cannot. Your words shape your reality. When you learn to think before you speak, you begin to create a life of clarity and purpose. You reduce confusion and frustration for yourself and others. You become a source of calm and direction in chaotic moments. This ability to speak with intention lifts you above the noise and connects you deeply with those around you. It is one of the most valuable communication skills you can develop. Starting this practice today changes your communication immediately. It may feel awkward at first because it requires breaking old habits, but the reward is worth every effort. You will find yourself more respected, more understood, and more influential. People will seek out your words because they know you speak with clarity and thoughtfulness. This transforms how you lead, how you relate, and how you succeed. Clear communication is not accidental. It is the result of deliberate choice. It comes from training your mind to slow down and focus on what matters. When you think before you speak, you own your words, you own your message. You create conversations that matter. That is how you improve your communication skills and rise in every area of life. Chapter 4. Use simple words to express complex ideas. It is a hard truth that many people struggle to get their message across because they try to sound smarter than they really are. They fill their sentences with complicated words, confusing phrases, or fancy jargon hoping it will impress. But instead, they create barriers between themselves and their audience. Most of the time, this makes communication less clear, less engaging, and less effective. When ideas are buried under complex language, people tune out, misunderstand, or feel overwhelmed. The reality is that the most powerful communicators use simple words to explain the most complicated ideas. Clarity is the foundation of influence. Every day people are bombarded with information. Their minds are busy, distracted, and tired. When you speak or write with simplicity, you give them a gift. You make it easier for them to understand your message and act on it. Simple words are like a clear path through a dense forest. They help ideas move quickly and smoothly from your mind to theirs. When you explain complex concepts in plain language, you invite people to listen deeply rather than struggle to keep up. Using simple words does not mean dumbing down your message or being less intelligent. It means respecting your audience enough to meet them where they are. It means focusing on the heart of the idea without unnecessary clutter. The clearer your communication, the more impact you have. People do not need you to confuse them with fancy vocabulary. They need you to connect with them through straightforward speech. This is what builds trust and understanding. Most of us have experienced the frustration of listening to someone who sounds smart but leaves us confused. They speak in long, winding sentences that require more effort than we can give. This creates distance. We stop paying attention. Our minds wander to easier things. That is why simplicity matters so much. It helps you hold attention. It helps your ideas stick. It